Okay, let's do a quick mic check. Sounds a bit low. Okay, maybe that's a little better now. All right, sounds better. How's everyone doing today? Hope everyone's having a good day. I thought I was ready for stream, and then I realized I completely forgot something, and I'm not ready. And so it's a mad dash to get it set up. Alrighty. You'll see in a minute what I mean. Also, the streaming on the wrong, not the wrong day, the day I don't normally stream, also throwing me off my game today. Yeah, but it's all good. I think I got it set up now. All right. Except for the fact that I'm making myself deaf at the moment. Oh, jeez. Let's lower that volume just a little bit. All right. Alrighty. Uh, hey, how's everyone doing today? There we go. All right. It's not it's not perfect. Clearly you can see some blacks, black like empty space over. That's weird. The cameras. Wait, do you see? I'm so confused. Is my camera flipped? Is that what's happening? Um, Wait a second. All right, not endorsing this brand. I just want to see if you can read it. Okay, you can read it. So yeah, it's not flipped, so that's why it's all weird. But yeah, there's all the black around. I couldn't figure out how to fix that real quick, so it is what it is. I tried to get it as straight as I could. It's just you can see the camera and it's warped and there's no getting around that it's going to warp a bit. So, it is what it is. But it's a big canvas today, relatively speaking. And yeah, I'm doing a landscape painting today, which is, uh, you know, it's gonna be something, that's for sure. I am not a expert at landscape, so this is very much pushing outside any comfort zone, but it's for a charity, so I wanted to do it. So yeah, and then the only thing I need to do now is um, change it to manual focus. Okay, there we go. Hopefully it doesn't slip. I tried to lock it as hard as I could, but it's just like, I don't know, it feels like it might slip, but we'll see. Anyways, okay. And then that's all set up. I just need to get my palette out. And exciting, I have a new painting tool to try out today. So I'm real excited about that. Okay, I cannot get that in place. 1 second. Running into all kinds of issues that I don't normally have to deal with, but yeah. Um, nothing major, just like little things. Like the what's it called? Like the easel has a wood thing that sticks out there, and I can't clip onto it over one spot, stuff like that. That like I was not anticipating dealing with. Okay, think I got it in place. Okay. Got to be careful with the palette. It is glass and I don't want it to shatter. It is tempered glass for the record, um, for safety, but still, it would be miserable to clean up, you know? Alrighty. Cool. All right, got my stuff set up. Okay. That's weird. Okay. Hey, Des. Good to see you. Yeah, it's a different dimension for me. Absolutely. It is. It's a, nearly. It's like it's a few, like a quarter, like an eighth of an inch short, but it's basically a 24 by 12. Which yeah is a different one. Sorry, something happened to my reference. I have to fix this real quick. Okay, don't know what that was about. That was just Photoshop glitching out on me. Yeah, so it's a landscape and it's a completely different dimension. I had to move my camera just to get it in. Yeah, so had to mess with a lot of things to get this set up. Um, so it is what it is. It's all good. Just I thought I was ready, and then I realized, oh no, I have all these other things to take care of. So the reason behind this is there's a charity that I'm trying to paint this for. So trying to get this done for a charity. Um, uh, you know, so hopefully I can do that in time. But yeah. Speaking of charities, Des is working on some paintings for a charity, which is really cool. It's such a cool idea. I yeah, I really like the charity you're working for. I think it's a great project. Okay. And later, not right now because I first need to like sketch things in, but later I have a new exciting painting tool. Uh, uh, and if you're like, isn't that just a spatula from the store, from the grocery store? Damn right it is. Damn right it is. I want to try out uh, a spatula from the store because I use these things a lot. Um, but not everybody has these things or wants to buy them. Uh, and they can be a little more expensive than this. This was $2 at the grocery store. So I wanted to test out some cheap alternatives because my workshop, I want to, um, I'm going to have, what's it called? A material list, but I don't want to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I want to be inclusive and I don't want people to have to buy expensive things if they don't want to. You know, I like using brayers, but like you don't have to have a brayer to paint like I paint, right? Like it's not mandatory. So yeah. Oh, it's pretty flexible. It's pretty flexible. The thing I don't like about it though is this one has these little like um it looks like sprinkles. They're probably plastic. Um I'm not really crazy about that, but like I can only feel like one of them and only from one side. So like whatever, you know. I just like I said, I just grabbed the cheapest one. They have bigger ones. They have all kinds of different things. But I was like, I just want to make a point and try it out. I have other ones. I don't need to spend more than that, you know? So I just grab the cheapest one just to make sure I can actually work with it. And that's it, you know? The rest of it, whatever. Alrighty. And then I need to buy new paints. So I'm going to be ordering some new paints, and I'm trying to figure out if I want to adjust my palette at all. Because I've been getting into it with some people about different palettes and so on. So I just want to see if because I'm open to a better palette. If anybody is like, oh no, here's a better, here are better pigments you should use, I'm down for it, but I have not found better pigments. So, you know, we'll see what happens with that. All right. So right now I am just gonna start laying in just my rough sketch right now. That's all I'm doing. Um, Let me see something. If I do this, okay. Let me know if the stream struggles. I'm trying something on the back end, but yeah. All right. So I'm just gonna start laying things in, roughly. As far as what colors, I'm just using leftovers on my palette, staying away from my blues though, because my blue is phthalo blue, and that can kind of infect everything. And then also it in addition to infecting everything, it's not it dries slow. So it can lock up a painting basically. So yeah, so I'm staying away from it. But all my other colors are fine for blocking things in. I basically don't listen to a lot of the rules regarding that. There's the one of like, don't use white in your darks. There's good reason for that. You don't want your whites to be kind of milky, or, which is the common argument, or um, desaturated or whatever. But you can overcome that if you accidentally do that. Just FYI. So you can overcome that if you mess up. And then B, um, I, I kind of paint like that. Like everything's kind of desaturated and compressed a lot of times. So it's not an issue for me most of the time. I didn't realize some of my paint was dry on my palette. Oh well. My go-to from my color directly from my palette, as far as like laying in, my go-to color is usually my quinacridone rose. It's a strong color, but it's very flexible. Unless there's a very unique circumstance, which, you know, does happen in painting, I usually lean towards that for my lay-in color. Uh, if if I am not using remnants from my palette, which I try and do because I try to save paint as much as I can. Try not to be wasteful, you know? Yeah, this is fun. I miss painting large. I really want to get into painting larger paintings again. Yeah, although some of the plans I'm making might take me in the opposite direction, but yeah. John Lee did a great job on my portrait. Yeah, John Lee did do a great job on my portrait. Uh, Made me look a lot better than I actually do. I did great. His painting was his art was great. Don Lee is a streamer on Twitch. It goes by Don Leo, and he did a portrait of me because I was on Drawn Together, Dylan Sarah's podcast, and that's kind of the theme of the podcast. So he did draw me, and yeah, it was really cool. A bunch of people did, and I shared all their stuff because it was really cool. But Don Lee left it and then came back to it a lot later. So yeah. Oh, I should mention, I got some announcements to make in case you haven't heard. Des, I'm sorry, you keep hearing the same thing over and over again. I apologize. It is what it is. So on June 9th, uh, we are doing uh, Portrait Artist of the Year Paint Along number 2, the second one. Uh, so yeah, we're doing that on what did I say? June 9th, which should be a lot of fun. I will have screenshots and everything for everybody in advance. You don't have to have access to Portrait Artist of the Year. I will grab screenshots of all the 3 actors, or not actors, all the 3 sitters, so everyone can participate. Yeah, just join the Discord, and that's the best way to get all that information. And then you can also share your art. It's just for fun. I think it's a lot of fun, and I highly recommend it. And I run it like it's the show, so it'll be like I'll stream for probably around 5 hours, and I stream. Um, I try and paint my whole painting in 4 hours. And then after we finish that, I show what I did in 4 hours, and then I'll probably take it to a finish on my own time later. Like I'll take it to a more of a finish. But yeah, that's the idea. And then also, I do have a workshop coming up starting June 20th. There's a link in the description. You can see the No Fear Painting thing on screen. Yeah, that is, geez, my brain is not functioning right now. Yeah, No Fear Painting, 4-week painting workshop for 220. It's on how to paint with no fear, how to paint kind of in my style, or taking my techniques and adapting them to your own style. It's not, you can paint however you want. It's just the techniques, and painting looser and more expressively by not being afraid of making mistakes. And there are some techniques that you can use to kind of get past that, in my experience. So that's what the workshop is all about. Alrighty. So I will get to talk about some things that I don't normally get to talk about while doing a landscape. Like I said, I am not an expert landscape painter compared to some other people out there. I highly recommend, if you want to be really good at landscapes, go talk to those people because they're a lot better than me. Um, but I will be able to talk about some things that I don't normally get to talk about. So I'm looking forward to that. Um, one of which is water and how to paint water, which actually also applies to a lot of other things. Um, like I said, I'm not an expert compared to some people, so, you know, but painting basically clear things or semi-transparent things is a challenge. Um, it's very hard to do. So, um, yeah, I'll get to talk about that today. Uh, in my experience, the thing about painting um, transparent and translucent things is really just trying to the big challenge is trying to paint what you see and not what you know is there. Because a lot of times what you're actually painting is just the things that are um, what's it called, behind it or reflecting off of it or whatever. You're not actually painting the thing itself because you can't. It's clear. There's nothing to paint. So, but our brains just want to fill it in. And it's like we know, our brains know that it's a thing there and we're painting that thing. So how do so your brain tries to paint the thing. And really what you're trying to paint is the effects of light that you see. Um, you know, but it is very, very challenging. One I mean, there's a ton of painters out there who are fantastic at this, but I think one that gives a really good, it's very good and also very like straightforward and easy to see is Gil Elvgren. He is a pinup artist, or was. I'm pretty sure he's dead. Um, and he would paint women in like lace material, right? And like I said, he's a pinup artist, so a lot of nudity, just FYI. But the thing is, you see it um, how with lace, you really see the lace when it curves because that's when all the holes, line up with each other and you can't see through them. And then in other places you can. So you can see sometimes he would paint lace and all he would do is paint those areas where it lines up like that. And the rest of it he would leave completely transparent. Uh, and by completely transparent, I mean just not painted at all. And because he painted in oils and because he painted uh, when printing resolution wasn't as good, you can see a lot of that in his paintings in books and stuff. So yeah. This surface I used to love, and now it's not my favorite anymore. So this is I primed this panel myself with oil primer, and I sanded it so it's smooth, but it is not my favorite anymore. I used to like it a lot more, but now I don't know. Maybe just things don't seem to be moving on it the way I want it to, but it's fine. Not a big deal, just whatever. So my goal right now is to fill up the canvas as fast as, well, not as fast as I can, but my goal is to fill up the canvas. Um, because then after I fill up the canvas, I'm going to use my brayer and mess everything up. And then after I mess everything up, I will take a photo of it so that I can place everything, like get everything back in the correct place, because I'm going to mess it up uh, throughout that process. And because I know I'm going to mess it up throughout that process, I'm also not too precious with it right now. By the way, in case anyone's curious, yeah, this spatula from the grocery store totally works. It's a little stiff, but that's fine. Um, some sometimes a stiffer, a stiffer spatula for this is better than a soft one. So it just kind of depends. I have bigger ones. Some are softer, some are stiffer, some don't have any flex at all. I have a plastic one that literally doesn't bend at all. So yeah, so this works really well. And the shape is the shape is good. It's all smooth. I didn't get one with any like ridges on it. So yeah, it's really good. So if anyone wants to get into take my workshop or get into painting like this and they're like, I don't know if I want to buy all that expensive stuff from the art store. There you go. Cheap and very accessible for most people. There's always exceptions. Ah, my camera's slipping a little, I see. Yeah, it's slowly drooping. I made it worse. I made it worse. The thing is, the controls are all like super messed up right now because like it's all like directional, but all the directions are spun around. So trying to fix this is very uh yeah, is very like disorienting because it's like X is Y, literally X is Y, Y is X, and it's all like flipped around. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to an art fair tomorrow. Um, and so I had to change my stream day today, unfortunately. You know, to today, basically. I really try to keep my schedule very consistent, but what can you do? Sometimes some changes have to occur. But yeah, it's an art fair in Austin, and I want to go check it out. Obviously, I want to meet new artists and everything, but also I want to see if it's worth participating in next year, so I can, see if it's something that I want to be a part of or not. So yeah, right now I'm just laying in some basic clouds. I'm not overly concerned with the shapes because I am going to mess this up thoroughly. And so all the shapes will get messed up. And then I'll have to go back in and do it. And the clouds, I'm probably going to have my general approach to clouds is very similar to my approach on smoke, which means the sky is going to be kind of, generally speaking, the sky is going to be more on the flat, what's it called? Um, Dimension, I guess. I don't know. It's going to be flat. And then um, the clouds will end up being like impasto smoke kind of thing. At least that's the plan at the moment, unless it changes. So right now I'm just laying in the building with a color that, I'll be honest, not exactly accurate for the building, but I just want to be able to keep it there because the color of the building kind of blends in with the sky. So it's going to have to be more on the like nuanced side when I get to it. So to keep it from disappearing into the sky, I'm just putting it in with a color that will stand out enough. Same thing with these buildings over here. One of the buildings is literally blue, but yeah, like sky blue color. The bridge is pretty beige-y, I'd say. I think that's probably too dark for it, but that's okay. A lot of it is in shadow. I can go in and lighten it up as I go through it. So, I don't remember all the details of the charity that this is for because I have a bad memory. Um, but it's a charity to help local uh, people in areas affected by like the wildfires that happened. I guess it was last year. But yeah, that's what the charity is for. And I thought that sounds decent. There's an endless amount of charities uh, that are worthy. It's really hard to like pick and choose, and there's a limitation on time, on one's time, of course. But this is the reason I'm doing this one is because it's connected to a local, um, I guess, what's the right word for it? Print and framing shop that deals with art. And so it's all kind of tied into stuff I already do, which makes sense. Yeah, there's more fires already this year. Yeah, yeah. And there's going to be more. We're apparently going into some like special heat dome thing that they're warning in Austin. I mean, last year we had a fire that was literally like down the street from us. Um, we had firefighters here giving us like evacuation notices. We ended up not having to evacuate, but like just barely, you know. So yeah. And then we're also anticipating tornadoes because they've been starting up too. Uh, we were lucky earlier this year. The tornadoes went north of us, but yep, it's expected to make its way to our area. We had it once. It's stuff that like never happened before. There's never tornadoes here beforehand. Or maybe not never, but like almost never. In case anyone's curious, the reference I'm working on, I took myself. So the local bridge here in Austin, which is appropriate for the charity, I thought. So yeah, that's why uh, I'm doing this reference. Like that's why the landscape and everything. Not that this bridge was ever in danger from a fire, but it's recognizable, kind of like this is Austin. Although I don't think it's not the bridge with the bats. There's a bridge here that like thousands of maybe millions, I don't know, but thousands of bats live in and they go flying out of at night. It's like an event. I will say the water is something I'm not entirely looking forward to painting. Yeah. The what's it called? Just a lot of detail that I'm like not really into, but whatever. My plan is not to get overly detailed with this painting. Definitely want to be loose with it. Very good to see how I tackle the water. Yeah. You know, the funny thing is, the part of the water that I'm not looking forward to is actually, in a lot of ways, the easier part. Uh, yeah, the parts that are like that I consider more difficult, I'm actually not that worried about. It's the other parts that I'm not looking forward to. What I mean is, it's just all the like ripples and everything that I'm not looking forward to. But those are pretty straightforward, right? It's just like you just have to do the marks and that's it. Um, the parts where there's transparency, where there's more complexity, uh, you know, in a way, is more challenging. That I don't mind as much. That I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I think I got that. I might change my opinion once I get there, but I've done that before, so I think I'm okay. It's the parts where it's just like, oh, here's a million little, little wave thingies. Have fun. Uh, thank you. With how fast I'm going through this paint, though, I might have to order new paint sooner than I realized. Yeah, I'm not digging this surface anymore. It's really not moving. Frustrating me a bit right now. It's fine. Once it gets covered with oil, it'll be fine. But right now it's just like things are just feel like they're not lighting. I'm gonna have to reposition the canvas at some point. I did not have enough space, and it is like right up against the, I don't know what it's called, the easel at the bottom. Okay, I need more paint. I'm literally out of the colors I need right now. This is my palette needs a good scraping, but I have small piles of fresh paint on it, so I have to wait till I use that up. Uh, I mean, yeah, you can, sometimes when I have that situation, I will move the fresh piles to a particular area and then just scrape the rest of the palette. You can get away with that. I just put them on like the side of the same palette and then just scrape. Yep, that's what I thought. This paint tube is completely done. All right, quick stretching break. Looking at it from a distance, that bridge is way too red. Oh well. Also, I can't not see this right now. This looks like a smokestack. It is not, but at the moment, it's, I can't unsee that. It looks brick. Do they build bridges of brick though? It's not brick. Um, the color is completely off. That's what's wrong. I think there might be some old bridges built out of brick, maybe. Small ones. But no, this isn't brick. I got the color completely wrong. But yeah, I'll fix it. I don't know if I saw it that way or if it was like I don't know why I ended up with that color. Hey Donley, welcome. How you doing? By the way, anyone watching on YouTube, Don Leo, who just showed up in chat, streams on Twitch. You can just copy and paste his name into Twitch and find his channel. Putting some groceries away and checked out the landscape. Cool to see you mixing it up from portraits. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, I'm trying not to get caught up too much in the details right now. Alrighty. For the record, grocery prices suck. Yeah, they do. I feel that. They really do. Alrighty. Time for the fun part. That changed the feel of it real fast. All right, I'm sorry, the camera's slipping some more, so I'm gonna have to take a quick minute to fix that. Looks like I got rain on the camera lens. That's funny. All right, this should help it not slip. There we go. Little ribbon to help it. Now I need to fix the camera on OBS, so alrighty. Nope, wrong one. There we go. That's pretty decent. Okay, that's pretty decent. I think that's as good as I'm gonna get it. As far as the camera position and everything. But at least now, hopefully it won't sag because I tied it up properly. Okay, there we go. All right, it's in focus. Everything. Okay, there we go. I either need, for larger paintings, I'm either going to need a wider lens or oh, what's it called? Or to put this much further back. If this is as wide as it goes right now. It doesn't get any wider than this on this lens. Alrighty. Now I just need to compare my reference to my painting. So we'll find out how off I have been with this. Just a minute. Oh, yeah, I'm doing this off camera. Sorry, guys. Just part of the process. Okay, Des, no problem. Alrighty. All right, let's see how close I was with everything. This is a good way of like testing how good your what's it called? Your proportions and everything are, you know, when you're eyeballing it. And if you're constantly off, there's a lot of things you can do to be better at it or to get better at it quicker. Alrighty. Zoom in a bit. This is hard to do at a distance. Alrighty. So for this, I'm just probably going to use quinacridone rose as my color because it's just drawing. Usually, ideally, I would wipe everything off. I like using my wiping tool, but I don't know that I'll get back to it in time, and I don't want to leave grooves in the paint. So that's why I avoid using the wiping tool if I'm not sure I'll have time to get to it. All right. This is pretty close. That's really good. The side of the bridge. This one's a little off. The thing only comes to about here. But still not bad. This is the like, I don't know, support beam, whatever you want to call it. Or there's a term for it that I probably know, I just can't think of right now. Okay, this is also pretty accurate here. The thing is, I can be more accurate if I make an effort. Um, there are techniques and stuff you can do to be more accurate. And those are good things to know and to learn. The problem is they're slow and they take time because that's how that works. Measuring to get everything in the right place takes more work and more time, which is good. But especially for stream, I don't feel like it's good. I can understand if some people might like with my technique, I end up repainting things a lot. I can see some people getting annoyed with that, but I am just I always like I'm not good at painting inside the lines, so I always end up having to repaint everything anyways. So, yeah. So if you're not good at painting inside the lines, that's all right. We can be bad at it together. This is looking on my screen very dark, and it's not that dark. Let me see if I can boost that up a little bit, because that is looking very dark. Yeah. Closer. All right, that looks better. Not perfect, but whatever. I guess I'd say if you want to see the colors perfectly, wait for me to take a photo of it or buy it. If you buy it, you'll definitely see the colors perfectly. Now I'm doing what I can, but the color correction options in OBS are definitely far from perfect. Okay, this I totally got wrong. So good to see. But yeah, anybody who streams and uses OBS knows the color correction is very lacking. Also, it's so hard to actually know, if it looks right on your screen versus my screen, all that stuff. It's very difficult. So I have the workshop coming up in June, as I'm sorry I've repeated many times, but you know, have to try and market it at least. I will be honest, part of me is like, how am I ever going to teach this workshop when the Elden Ring DLC drops about the same time? Uh, I know that's stupid, but like, yeah, that says screen differences is so crap. I thought that photo of my painting yesterday looked pretty good. Then I opened it on another PC screen and it was horrible, embarrassing. Yeah, that's a real challenging part of all this stuff. If you want it to be really accurate, there are ways, but it it's only going to be like you can color calibrate your screen and everything, right? But even if you color calibrate your screen, it will only look right on other screens that are color calibrated, and most people don't have screens that are color calibrated. So that's only very useful for printing. And even in printing, it's not that useful because um, you know, the reason people get like tons of proofs made of their prints is because the color reproduction, regardless of what it shows on screen, just can be wildly different. So, yeah, it's a big frustrating part of all of this, for sure. Donley says, that's one of the reasons I got the iPad. They're relatively accurate, and I tried to present to people that way. Yeah, the iPad has a good color range and what's it called? Gamma range. Yes, they're pretty good about that. I know people made fun of Apple for their like Mac screen that was ridiculously monitor that was ridiculously expensive, but for certain people it's not. Uh, for most people it is, but for certain types of work that monitor was actually a steal. I'm not a big Apple fanboy, but like yeah, it just depends. Um some of this stuff, you know, most people just don't deal with it all the time, so they don't know. Um, yeah. Donley says, I also used to work in the print industry, so I'm very aware that you really need to check how prints are coming out. And don't be afraid to ask printers to adjust colors. Oh yeah, 100%. Donley's right. You know what's crazy is that um, printing machines, um, I'm not talking about like screen printing or what is it, plate printing, the color, but like if you use a machine, if you use like print on demand machines, even the same brand, the same model on the same computer, but if you have two different ones, can come out slightly different. Not only that, they can actually, the color can change as it's working because as it heats up, some machines the color will shift slightly, um, which sucks. But yeah, that says we are making prints of all those portraits and projects. I'm so scared they won't be good. Take photos, take raw photos and go for 10 or 14 bit, 10, 12, or 14 bit if you can. That's the safest way of preserving colors. Donley says to ask for a press check before they print the whole run, if you can. Press check is when they print off a couple and let you check review the colors before they print. Makes sense. Alrighty. think I'm going to need a bigger brush than the one I'm using right now. Just a second, I need to clean this a little bit. Alrighty. So I thought that the brayer would flatten out the paint more, but I guess I went really thick with some of this because it just, I can, like I put paint down and it just sinks, like my brush just sinks into like a bunch of paint, which actually can be a really good thing. It's just got to be aware of it more than anything. If you put down too much paint and it's like intolerable, you can always just scrape it off. You made a break for it there. But yeah, sometimes you have to like slightly overcompensate for the color that you're putting down if you know it's going to sink in a lot with the paint already there, or scrape it off. Is this a found photo like some of the other references? No, it is not. I took this photo. It's a local bridge in Austin, and this painting's for a charity, a local charity for people uh, dealing with trying to recover from damages from the fires that happened. I think it was last year. Um, I'm getting my timelines mixed up. But yeah, so I decided I thought it'd be fun to do um, since it's a local charity, it'd be fun to do a local landmark. It's not exactly like the most well-known bridge or anything, but if you're in Austin, you'll know it. There's the river and everything. It's like downtown Austin. But no, I took the photo. Ideally, I'll be honest. Well, okay, maybe not the found photos because those are kind of unique, but generally speaking, I wish, ideally I would take all my own photos for my reference. Um, it's not always feasible, but ideally, I think it's unless you can work with a photographer who like, is working with you to take reference shots, then that's probably better because I'm not a photographer, so I don't think I take like very good photos necessarily, but they're good reference shots for paintings. Whereas a lot of stuff you see online, photography stuff it's designed to be a good photograph, not a good reference. So it stands on its own, which, makes sense. that's what the photographers would do. But not everything that stands on its own is good reference for a painting. What makes a good photo and what makes good reference for a painting aren't the same thing all the time. Although I will say, if you go with the more like artistic photographs, I think they tend to be better reference for paintings, but still, it's still not the same. You're always better off just getting, reference that is meant to be reference versus meant to be a photo. So the clouds are very white in my reference photo. And if you're looking at it going like, well, why aren't your clouds very white right now? First of all, I might not make them as white as they are in the reference. But second, um, ooh, that is way too much yellow. I might not, I know sorry, I got distracted. I know I'm not going to finish them right now. So getting in some color variation and then knowing that I'm going to paint over them is how I'm approaching it. Because I know that they'll be dry by the time I get to them. And even if they're not, uh, it still applies wet into wet or wet over dry. It doesn't really matter in this instance. No worries, Donnelly. Thanks for being here. I'll be honest, I am winding down a little bit. I'll probably only go for a little bit longer. Kind of a short stream today, I know, but a busy weekend, so I have to prioritize my time in all kinds of ways this weekend, unfortunately. I have a commission piece that I need to work on. Um, and what else am I doing? Uh, a, a lot of things that I need to get done. But one thing I can bring up and talk about if people feel are up to chatting at all. Has anyone seen the King Charles portrait? Oh, I think it's super funny. Uh, I think the painter is great. I think he did a great job. I just think it was maybe the wrong choice. I am all sorts of busy. I am always all sorts of busy. It drives Michelle crazy. Big Red. Yeah, yeah, Big Red. I like the joke. People have been comparing it to the Ghostbusters 2 portrait of the villain. I think that one's pretty funny. I think the artist did a great job, honestly. I just think the choice of the red was um I think they may have not realized how it would be interpreted, you know. Des says I've seen it where it's changed to blue and it looks better. You know, um yeah, yeah, I don't know. I haven't I haven't seen that. It just looks because it's the, the king, it just ends up looking kind of ominous in my opinion. Uh, Des says, well, I interpret it in my own way. You can certainly see it as a dig at him. I don't think it was a dig at him. It looks like he's been splattered with the blood of his enemies. Yeah, see, that's what I'm kind of getting at. It kind of just looks ominous. There is a photo of King Charles right after he became king. Like when he was on his way, I think, when he was walking and he'd just become king or whatever. And he's wearing like the big puffy cape, I guess, or whatever, and he's walking and it like flies out behind him. And it's like this moment that they got a great photo, and I'm just like, man, that would have been, I feel like that would have been a good, you know, turn that into a portrait. Vigo is the name of the character in the Ghostbusters. Yeah, yeah. Wait, is it supposed to be butterflies, Des? Is that why you're bringing up that gross fact that I'm not going to repeat? Are the things around him supposed to be butterflies? Did I not see that? They are? Oh my God. I could not even tell from the photos that I saw. Wow. Okay then. I literally had no idea. There's a monarch butterfly over his shoulder. Okay, that yeah. I didn't even notice that. Maybe the version I saw, the photo I saw may have been low res, so I couldn't see it. Only says I didn't have a good look at it before either, but now I see the monarch butterfly you're talking about. Okay, but that's just like one butterfly. It's not like he's covered in butterflies. Thought for a minute that all that red was just like him covered in butterflies. But I will say this, I'm really happy about the portrait. Um, because I want portraits to be more interesting, you know. Uh, they have a tendency to be kind of dull. So I'm all for it. Oh, just one butterfly. I see. You like that it's different? Yeah, so do I. Like I said, I think that there is a bit of a miss on some aspects of it, but overall, I mean, first of all, it's really well painted. I'm not trying to say anything about the artist. And then yeah, I like that it's different. It's not traditional, and that's great. He's an artist himself, so I'm sure he's happy. Yeah. You do like the rendering of the face and uniform. Unfortunately, making such a strong color choice, especially the red, may skew perceptions. Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of things to take in consideration as far as like, as far as all of that goes. Um, you know. And the other thing too is to consider is that like we may perceive it one way, but you know, like our opinion of the monarch and their opinion on it is probably very, very different. So that's going to skew how we perceive it versus how they perceive it. And by they, I'm referring to A, the monarch themselves, and B, the British people. Des says, but the whole red thing, I mean, people are going to see it as having Diane's blood on his hands. The P reference, he casts no shadow like a vampire. Haha. I can go on and on. Yeah. Alrighty. Let's see if this will work. Not sure this will, but let's see. Yeah, no, transform, rotate. Huh? I'm just trying to rotate you. Why won't you rotate? There we go. Just wanted you all to get a closer look at it. Donnelly says, I'm interested in hearing the artist and King's thoughts behind the piece. Haven't had a chance to look it up yet. Yeah, yeah. So that's where it's at right now. But yeah, I'm gonna be calling it a day, or a night, or whatever you want to. Yeah. Nice short Saturday stream. I know it's very short for my normal streams, but you know, sometimes it has to be short. What can you do? Short and sweet, hopefully. Yeah, I think it's starting to come together. I mean, it's still very early stages, but yeah, it's starting to come together. All right, everybody. I hope everyone has a great weekend, rest of your weekend. I will be back on Tuesday. Yes, I will be streaming Tuesday night and Thursday night. And June 9th, we have Portrait Artist of the Year Paint Along. And June 20th, my workshop starts. So if you want to sign up, now's the time to do it before it fills up. Yeah, I think that's it. I dig, John Lee says, I dig how your painting is coming along. Thank you, John Lee. Appreciate it. Yeah, hopefully I can keep some of this energy till the end, you know? Does see you next time. I'll be away Tuesday, but I'll try and pop in on uh, on my on my date since I'll be out of town. Oh, on my data. Yeah. All right. No worries, and no pressure, you know. But yeah, thank you everybody for being here, and have a great weekend.